recipe that seemed to always elude him.
What thrills you?
The one for sustained contentment.
Really, being loved and actually appreciating the people that are giving that to me.
Namaskar, friends. Today, we will be trying to understand and uncover the tenets of joy or happiness and how to infuse happiness in our lives all the time. So, I have talked in my earlier lectures that biological life is a combination of Shiv Chit or unadulterated witnesser, impartial, and prana, which is a self-centered, rhythmic, bubbly, boisterous, pulsatile energy that is extroverted. So Shiv Chit is introverted or introspection, and prana is extroverted or extrospection. And most of the times, because we are bombarded by the mahabhuts, sensations, other individuals around us, we tend to perceive ourselves as prana and not as Shiv Chitta, which is a dormant energy inside. So, in that clip where Anthony Bourdain questions Iggy Pop, the famous songwriter, singer, what thrills you? What makes you happy? The response that Iggy Pop has, it's a very embarrassing thing. It is being loved and to appreciate the people who are showering love on me. And this gentleman, after, I don't know, 60, 70 years of life, this is his essence of happiness, which tells a lot to us as to how simple happiness is for the most part when you perceive it as a pranic power. So people who are visualizing life in the realm of prana or extroversion, the powers of Shakti, Kali, and externality, those people need to have a strong interaction with each other to feel the happiness. And that is the way 95% of us, I would say, are living in that realm. And there's nothing wrong with it, but you have to understand your protoplasm, your blueprint, and then only you can infuse happiness inside yourself. And in these 95% cases, it's important to establish pranic happiness through what he says, being loved and appreciating the people. So you see, there is a reception and there is a reciprocation. So the reception part is being loved. So you are feeling, I should say, validated, approved. You are feeling important. You are feeling not neglected or marginalized. So that thing where you are being appreciated by the people you hold valuable is very important. And you will see it in kids too. They are seeking validation, approval from their parents. So this thing will always be with us. We are seeking validation from, as grown adults, from our spouses, from our children sometimes from our peers, sometimes from our colleagues, clients, customers. There is constant ongoing validation that you are important, doing a great job, and you are good at this. That kind of validation or external echo needs to be bounced towards us all the time in pranic realm. That is the part where he says being loved. Now, once you are loved, you have to infuse a purpose in yourself. I am doing this, so I'll keep doing this. And that part is where he says appreciating the people who love me. So when you say I love my job, there's this interaction where you like what you're doing, but also you're getting validation from the people, which is making you further strive towards your goals and doing it even better the next day. So that is the part where we say appreciate the people or reciprocate, or in simple words, purpose. It gives you a purpose and gives you more energy, vitality to keep pursuing what you are pursuing. That is the components, two components of pranic happiness, pranic success in life, pranic love, whatever you want to call it. There has to be a sense of getting validation from the individuals and then giving some sort of attention, you can say, or the job you were doing, which is getting you the validation, doing it even better. So that is what gets us fired up to the level of the even to the Manipura, the solar plexus, the third chakra. When you're doing something good, you get the validation, you want to do it even better because you seek that validation. That is being loved, the core content of our existence as prana. Now, 95% people will need this in their lives, what we call intrinsic growth or helping the people in the community, and monetary, of course. Those are the three things that they are said are required for happiness. But it's very important what we call the extrinsic forces of happiness, the money, image, status, and then the intrinsic is intrinsic growth, helping in the community, things of that nature. All those things are required for happiness, but at the end of the day, all these things are creating pranic success, pranic happiness. So the other 5% who have gone beyond this need for validation and need for finding a purpose to get that further validation and approval will happily live an anonymous life outside the seeking validation and limelight. And those 5% are the people you will say are solitude lovers, who are self-seekers, be it the Himalayan yogis, be it the individuals who do not seek the limelight and do not count on the number of YouTube subscribers they are getting every day. So these kind of individuals don't need an extrinsic force to feed in onto them. And they are they are very happy and content to be the Shiv Chitta model that they are. And the pranic force is sticking with them, they are accepting it, but they are not going to fight it either ways, either seeking more of it or abhorring the current existence of whatever prana they have. And this Shiv Chitta intrinsic introspective bliss is happened through the triad that I have told you. First you have to become desireless, then you become peaceful, and when you're peaceful for prolonged periods of time, you become eternally introspectively happy, which I call bliss, the unperturbed, prolonged, uninterrupted state of constant joy without any reason. Happy for no good reason. That is the level of infusing happiness, and anybody who comes in their contact, in their surroundings, will also feel the same energy. That is why you'll hear when Neem Karoli Baba is sitting with followers, the followers are feeling happy for the period of time. When they go home, they go back to their state of hankering, craving, crying, all that stuff that goes on our usual lives. So those persons have transgressed the third chakra and they're living at the Anhata or higher, compassion center or Vishuddha, Agya or Sahasrara. But basically they have gone at a higher level because they are constantly reveling in the beauty of being a witnesser, neutral observer, which is Shiv Chitta, without inciting any emotions, without evoking any feelings of what they are observing, but just knowing the neutrality of what is right and wrong and then acting accordingly. So even in yoga, when we talk about Dhyan Yoga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, we have to understand that Karma Yoga is more in the path of what Iggy Pop is saying, that you are doing something and then you are getting some validation. Although Nishkam Yoga will tell you that you should not be building any expectations. Most of the times when we are doing stuff, even for friends, family, neighborhood, community, society, country, we do have this little bit of expectation of being appreciated, even if not monetary wise. Just tell me that I'm doing a good job. And if someone criticizes, we are easily offended because we felt we are doing a great job. So we feel the need to reciprocate, and that need to react, respond, reciprocate, which is a pranic hallmark, is missing when there is a Shiv Chitta, because he does not care at all what individuals are saying. He just wants to assess himself for the things he's doing, and that is his most important benchmark. And that is what we find in chapter 5 of Gita. Bahya sparseshu asakta atma vindati atmani yat sukham sa brahm yogit atma sukham akshayam ashnute. One person who has detached himself from bahya sparsh, the contact of the exterior. By the contact, he means sensual contact, not just the contact with the skin, the contact with the eyes, smell, hearing, touch, and the skin contact. All those things are causing a force of reception. They are giving you appreciation. They are giving you signals that you are doing well or not. And then you decide, you incite desires according to the signals you receive, whether you are getting the right response or not. Whenever the response is lacking, what he calls being loved, the first portion is lacking, then you feel sense of discontentment. You feel a sense of low self-esteem, and you feel frustrated, angry, depending upon whether your Ida is active or Pingala is active. You will have all these imbalances. Either you will be anxious or you will be depressed. Either you will be frustrated or you will totally regress from contact with other individuals, becoming extremely introvert. So I've talked about this before. Two people will become extremely introverted. One person is who is extremely depressed, or the other person is who is extremely joyful. Because the joyful person has nothing to gain from contact with other individuals, and the person who is extremely depressed is so depressed from the contact that he's getting that he does not want this negative force to feed upon himself more and cause more damage to him. So my friends, in short, understand that 95% individuals need pranic happiness. Pranic happiness has a component of reception and a component of propulsion. The component of reception is for whatever you do, you are being acknowledged, validated, approved that you are a great individual, you have done a great job. Without you, this would not have been done. And that is the validation reception component. Then this individual gets so happy, he wants to do more of it because he is hungry for more of the validation, attention, if you want to call it. That part feeds into each other, the attention that you get and the purpose that you create so that you can get more attention. This back and forth has to continue in pranic success or happiness. That is why it's very important that you be kind and good to your family members, people in the society, because then they will validate you. Although Nishkam Karma is very difficult to get into in your life, even with good activities and some bit of tinge of expectation left, you will feel happy. And that's what matters the most, because once you feel happy, the pranic external shell of desiring things outside is filled. Then you start regressing inside. Then you try to figure out who I am, what is my real purpose in life, regardless of validation or not. And then you start exploring more in solitude your Shiv Chitta. You start doing more of Panch Pratyahara. You start believing in Tri Yoga, and then you start exploring yourself, and then your need for this validation will go down. Then you will realize that the source of happiness that the pranic contacts were creating through sensual contacts of the five senses with objects of sensual gratification does not exist anymore. You are entirely independent of the sthul sharir, and that is why after death you will not miss this body, because you never gave a lot of credence or value to this body. You understood it as a vehicle of going through experiences. Then you are happy in your Sukshma Sharir, which is Man, Buddhi and Indriya with the Sa or soul. That component of Sukshma Sharir will continue to work, and of course you will leave those Man, Buddhi and Indriya as well, and then you remain as Sa or Karan Sharir in the causal body, just the soul with the Karma Bandhans. When the Karma Bandhans dissolved, you are a free soul and you can go back to the place where you came from, which is the Satchitanand Brahman component. So you have to make the 95% people portion pranic happiness fulfilled before you can immensely enjoy the intrinsic core happiness that comes from desireless, peaceful, blissful. Now, some people might go the Shiva route. Some people might go the few people who have a lot of Pingla power, the self-determination, self-motivation power. The frustrations will not put them down. They will come back and fight it. And those individuals, right from the get-go, will start doing more pratyahara. They will start abstaining and they will start condemning the forces of the prana and the indriyas, and they will fail a lot of times, but that is their way. The way of Shiva, raw, crude, crass, determined, decisive, way to break the forces of prana, which is very difficult and prone to failures, but that is Shiva's way, where there is no slowly fulfillment of pranic needs, just going directly into the solitude, into dhyana, and finding out who you are and how happiness can be had. And that is a very difficult path, but some people will take that path of just finding introspection, disregarding the need for validation or feeling happy from the contentment they are getting. Whichever path you choose, whether of Shiva's path of crude dhyana without disregarding all the things that are around you, a path of austerity, or path of sattvic balance, where you want to fulfill the pranic need for validation and reciprocating, the power of attention, and then the feedback purpose. That cycle, whenever you fulfill, you have to, at the end of the day, start believing in the introspective bliss, because that is the ultimate goal. Whether you follow the pranic pathway into Shiv Chitta, or you follow the Shiva's crude, raw, crass way of dhyana, austerities, pratyahara directly into Shiv Chitta. Shiv Chitta, introspective bliss is where you have to land up eventually. Bahunam Jannamante. After multiple lives, that's what your goal is. No matter how much of karma bandha is going to obstruct you from the interactions of the pranic forces. Hope you like this video. Please feel free to leave your comments below. Jai Shri Ram.